And welcome back to Music Free Static. I hope you're having a fabulous day today. And I'm going to talk a little bit about social media, creator media, and the fact that I don't view things like Instagram and YouTube as being social media, despite the fact that everyone seems to think they are. So, the way I want to approach this is I want to start with a definition of social media. This was dumped out from Bard. I just asked it to define social media, and Bard spit this out. It said, social media is a digital technology that facilitates the sharing of text and multimedia through virtual networks and communities. Social media platforms allow users to create and share content and to interact with other users. Social media is used for a variety of purposes, including communication, self-expression, entertainment, and information sharing. It then goes on to list that the most popular media platforms include Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm not sure I'd put LinkedIn on that list, but, it's still popular, I suppose. So as far as that definition goes, it works, okay? It's a good starting point. But I think it's wrong, right? And this is definitions according to me, all right? But my take on social media is it's social. It is a direct interaction between people. You can have something like on Twitter, two people chatting back and forth. In Discord, for example, a whole chat interaction back and forth between people. That is social media for me. Okay, it's that social. It's that I'm willing to be together talking to somebody or texting to somebody or anything along those lines. That is social media to me. Again, and the emphasis is on social. Let's talk a little bit about what I refer to as creator media. Okay, creator media has a lot of the same features of social media, right? You go through that definition that I read at the beginning. Allows users to create and share content and interact with other users. Creator media focuses on the first part of that, allowing users to create and share content. And social media, while it's focused around individuals communicating, creator media is all about the likes, right? That's it's sort of reductionist, but really what creator media is a platform for user-generated content, like this podcast, for example, where the primary focus of the content is not interacting with other users, though please like and subscribe and comment, right? No, the primary focus of creator media is likes, shares, subscriptions, all of that stuff that's somebody clicks on. Hey, I like this post, or I've given it a 5-star rating, which of course you should always do for this podcast on Apple or whatever. But creator media is designed to then use those signals, usually combined with some sort of algorithm, to push out quote unquote better content to users. Now, better is in the eye of the beholder. And I don't mean I think that's better and you don't, right? It's they've got some sort of system in place, some algorithm in place that says, you've watched this content, you really want to watch this other content. Okay. TikTok is big on this. That's just how the platform works. Even your subscriptions, like if you follow somebody on TikTok, that's just a signal to TikTok that, oh yeah, I like this channel, show me more of it. But it's not a signal to show me all of what they do. Okay. YouTube is the same way. If you subscribe to a channel on YouTube, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. This is just going to be a running joke, I think. No, but if you're watching something on YouTube, and you just go to the YouTube homepage, YouTube will drop videos from channels you subscribe to sometimes, and others that it thinks you're going to like. And if you stop watching videos or you don't watch as many videos from a channel, even if you're subscribed to it, it won't feed you any more of those videos, right? You can often forget that you're subscribed, right? This is the bane of the existence of content creators like me, but that's the idea behind the creator media. It's these content sites that are trying to push content to users, preferably content that they might like better. Again, there's the air quotes on better. But the whole concept is for the platforms to make money off of advertising, or perhaps a cut of subscription, or in YouTube's case, membership fees and that type of thing. The difference between what I refer to as creator media and social media is creator media tends to be a one-way street. I'm going to say tends to because it's not 100% the case, right? So for YouTube, because I know YouTube better, I've been doing YouTube for a while. You create a video, you upload the video. You might get a comment, and those are awesome, right? I love reading your comments. And I might reply to a comment. But usually that's where the interaction stops. YouTube is not designed to be social, and it's certainly not designed for all of the subscribers on my YouTube channel to talk to each other. Okay, that's just the social aspect of it isn't really there. Okay, you could argue that based off of that definition of social media that YouTube apparently falls under is that a newspaper who posts their articles online and has a comment section is social media. I don't think anybody thinks that. Okay, maybe somebody does, but it is such a small number of people. It's just never in the conversation when we talk social media. I think that places like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, those are not social media, they're creator media. So, hey, how can I define Instagram as not social media? How do I say Instagram is not social media? Well, by changing the definition. Right? But I think it's an important distinction to create because it changes how you interact with that platform as a user, right? But also as a content creator on that platform. Twitter can also fit into the content creator media rather than social. It's a little bit more social than Instagram is, because I can just take a post on Twitter and say, hey, I want to ping publicly, unless you're doing DMs, I want to publicly ping so-and-so about something, okay? I could send a message to Cam Newton and ask him about football. He will ignore me, but I could totally do it, right? You know, I could bounce a question off Mark Hamill. Hey, what'd you think about this in Star Wars? And Mark Hamill is actually very good about replying. There's very little interaction beyond a question, an answer, and maybe a follow-up, right? And Twitter, at least prior to the Muskining, before Musk took over, really on its main homepage was pushing an algorithmic feed. Now, Twitter is a different beast because it was often people were often using it for live news updates, live status updates, and they wanted to see a chronological feed. And you could do that with TweetDeck. I'm not sure if you can do it with the main Twitter app these days. I got off Twitter when Musk took over. He was making so many changes that were very threatening to a content creator that I just sort of backed off and said, nope, I'm done with Twitter for a while. I may go back. I didn't delete my accounts, but that's sort of, Twitter sort of fits in that a little bit of a weird bubble, but I still tend to think of Twitter, especially now, as being creator-based media. It's all about news news organizations pushing stories. It's about actors updating their fans and stuff, but not a lot of real interaction back and forth. So let's talk about what is social media, because there are a number of things that I think that qualify, and I think a lot of them get overlooked. I want to start with what is, I think, the most successful social media network in the world, in history of all time: email. And some of you just fell out of your chairs. It's like, dude, what? Email meets all of the criteria in that definition from Bard. It allows users to create and share content and interact with other users. It's used for a variety of purposes, including communication, self-expression, entertainment, and information sharing. Okay, those middle two, expression and entertainment, maybe less so. But just by itself, person-to-person email or person-to-group email, right? Maybe you've got your list of people you're sending your messages to. That is a social network. Now, I'm not quite enough of an internet historian to say it was the first social network, and it certainly wasn't designed to be a social network. But that's what it is. And when you add like email lists, right? I don't know if you've ever been on a listserv or an email group, something like that. That really takes all of that stuff. That really starts to pull out the self-expression and entertainment aspects of it as well. Other social networks, things like Snapchat. Now, yes, Snapchat does have a creator component. You can follow a few organizations publicly, they'll snap out a bunch of stuff. But the focus on Snapchat really is communication with other people. You also get the same thing with other chat style systems, like Discord, right? Discord, Guilded, Slack, right? That whole thing. If you want to go further back, you can talk IRC or AOL Instant Messenger. At least IRC still exists, but right, those are social networks. Those are networks designed for people to actually be social. Now, how social you get in text is a different story, but that's what is social. Also, you get the old news groups, the NNTP stuff, same type of thing. Web forums, perhaps, can fall into that group. Right? Those are actual social networks because they are focused around people being social. The fun thing is, the ones that have stuck around, the most successful social networks in the history of the internet: email, NNTP, though that's been sort of fading from the public consciousness, and IRC, which again tends to be more used in tech geeky circles than most, all have one thing in common, and that is they are decentralized. They're completely outside of the control of any one organization. So let's look at email, for example, because email, I think, has a lot of the features that make for a long-term good social network, and the decentralization is one of them. I can have an account on Google or on Outlook, or I can run my own mail server if I want to, and still communicate with anybody on my email list, right? So if I want to email my sister and she's on Yahoo, or I don't want to email anybody, right? I don't have to be on Yahoo to email somebody at Yahoo. I don't have to be at Gmail to chat with somebody at Gmail over email. That is a huge benefit. IRC, which was said an old chat room, old style text only, don't get pretty graphics, anything like that, is decentralized to a point. You have a centralized server. If you want to talk to somebody on a server, you have to connect to that server. But you can use any IRC client you want, right? Because the protocol is open. Heck, IRC is actually the technology that underlies Twitch chat. Now, Twitch is starting to pull some of the features out of their IRC system, but if you wanted to create a bot for Twitch, all I had to do was talk IRC and it could connect to Twitch chat. Now, to do some of the more interesting things, you also have to tie into an API, but the underlying protocol is there and it's open and it works very well. Something I wish YouTube would take a lesson from, because YouTube chat kind of sucks. All of these things, they're separate. I can talk to somebody on, if I want to connect on Freenode, if I want to connect a couple of other places. I haven't been on IRC for a while, but I can. And if I want to set up my own IRC server for me and a bunch of my friends, totally doable. Okay. Now, Discord looks like that. Like, you set up your own servers. I've got one for Music Free Gaming. All right. Which you could also come chat for Music Free Static as well. But I have my own Discord server. My own server, right? It's a slice on Discord's platform. There is no decentralization to Discord, right? If I want to talk to somebody on Discord, I have to have a Discord account and I have to talk to them through Discord. Okay, Facebook operates the same way. If I want to talk to somebody on Facebook, I have to be on Facebook. And I think that's a problem, right? That centralization causes all sorts of issues. And I'm going to talk more about that, I think, in the next episode. Because you've got all of this centralization with most of the social media providers, it opens up problems, right? Or the potential for problems. Okay, so let's look at Twitter, for example, because Twitter is actually a fascinating case. Twitter exploded into popularity a long time ago, 2007, 2008. I think I got on Twitter, is that about 2008, 2008 time frame? And I got into it through a bunch of political stuff I was doing. I was reading a lot of political news. Twitter was the new hotness. It was great. Got in touch with a lot of pretty awesome people in politics. But as Twitter grew, you get more and more of the world on Twitter. Okay. And that's not a bad thing. Having a large user base is awesome. But it started to open up questions of censorship, right? Is Twitter suppressing the post from conservatives or liberals or progressives or communists or terrorists or some of those? Most people agree maybe terrorists shouldn't be on Twitter, right? Maybe, Raiders fans shouldn't be on Twitter. Oh, wait, well, maybe they should, and should the platform be able to decide that, right? That centralization can become a problem. And again, I'm going to talk about more of about that in the next episode. But what happens, you saw when Musk took over and he started changing a bunch of Twitter's policies, people started to head for the hills. Mastodon was one of the hills that they went to. And it fills very much the same role that Twitter does. It is decentralized. Anybody can set up their own Mastodon server. And assuming those servers are actually connected through the Fediverse, they're actually have federation turned on, I could talk to anybody on any federated Mastodon server without losing my contacts list. And that's awesome. That is really awesome. That's a Mastodon. I really should have brought it up a little sooner, but it is an excellent example of social media growing in ways that are defined by the people using it and not by the needs of some corporate overlord. Now, I don't believe corporations are inherently evil, but like anybody, individual or government or company, they look out for their own self-interests, which are not necessarily the same as you as a user. Okay? And that's not necessarily wrong or evil, but the goals can be different. Mastodon, you can at least set up your own node if you want to, and just run it however you want to, and you get to make the decisions. That is cool. So why does it matter? Why does it matter that we think about things as social media versus creator media? And I think if we look at it, if you look at creator media, said it's mostly a one-way feed, a little bit more interaction than, say, television, but not that much, really. So if you go into like Instagram expecting I'm going to get all of these people chatting back and forth to me, that is not common. The focus of Instagram is to push images and video into users' eyeballs. Okay. Instagram doesn't particularly care if people talk back and forth to each other. They just care that you're there for the next video or the next image or the next story or whatever else they're doing. TikTok, honestly, I don't know that they care at all about interaction. Comments are sort of hard to get to, and I'm not entirely sure how much they actually feed into TikTok's algorithm. But with TikTok and Reels, also YouTube Shorts, they're all the same thing. They're designed to, you're watching a video and scroll to the next video and scroll to the next video and scroll to the next video. It de-emphasizes even what little social interaction there is between the original poster and anyone who wants to comment. And when you start approaching it that way, it's like, oh yeah, I'm not on TikTok or on YouTube or on Instagram because I'm here to interact with people. I'm here to watch content. That's what those are for. On the other hand, when I go into Discord, I am not there to absorb content. I am there to talk to people. Right now, sure, I may post a cute picture of my cat and am hoping that people like the picture of my cat. But that's not what Discord is for. Sure, I mean, I've seen meme channels, I've seen pet picture channels, all that stuff. But primarily, where value comes out of Discord and other actual social media platforms, as I define them, it's the social interaction. It's, hey, I am actually communicating with somebody, or perhaps a room full of somebody's, and we can actually be social. And that's the important part. That's where things are different. That's where they get interesting. And that focus, I think, is very, very important to keep in mind. Because if you go on Twitter and wonder why no one's replying to your tweets, it's because Twitter doesn't care that people are replying to your tweets. They're just trying to push as many tweets out to as many people as they can. Interaction is nice, but they're really trying to get are those likes and those retweets and pushing the next drop of something into the feed. So Instagram is even worse, right? Heck, Facebook, right? It's the same type of thing. And when you interact with it that way, it can change your perspective. It can change your life. Yes. Treating content creator media like Facebook and Instagram as creator media, not social media, can change your life. Because you stop worrying about how many likes did I get or that type of thing. You realize what I'm wanting to be social. This is not being social. Why isn't anybody talking to me? Because that's not what those platforms are for. Now you can argue, why did I get no likes? Well, because you're not likable. I don't know. Right? It's the running joke in the one of the YouTube Discord that I'm in. It's like, how do I get people to watch my videos? So make good content. It's really, really stupid, but it's also really obvious. If you want people to watch and continue to watch, you have to make good content. Right? So that's something I'm still working on. I'm sure you've noticed. But it's that mindset of how it's used. I hope this is a good step in how you approach social media and creator media. In the next episode, next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how we can fix social media, or one of the biggest ways to fix social media or perhaps creator media. And that's going to be really fun. So be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, or on YouTube. I'm at youtube.com/@musicfreestatic. So you can subscribe over there too. I guess I should remind you to like the video or rate the podcast or all of those creator media things. But until next time, be excellent to each other. And this is Music Free Static signing off.